Hi there guys and welcome back to Jonesy's Question Time. So before I get started, I want to point out that I am absolutely full of cold. So if there's stops for coughs and sneezes and various things, then I do apologise right now. And for that very same reason, it's not going to be as long as what it usually is. So we'll have to see how what kind of duration we get on this, but it's certainly not going to be around 20 minutes because I'm feeling pretty poop right now. I'm not going to lie. And with that, just bear with me with the schedule this week for videos and everything because, I don't know how that's going to go. But anyway, let's start off with the first question. And we have TR Gamer, who's quite a regular contributor to this. He has asked me, what is my favourite ever Leeds United kit? For me, the ones that are most memorable for me are usually the away ones, because not a lot usually changes with the home kits. With the home kits, I would say I'm quite a purist, really, in the fact that I prefer the kits where it is just usually, all white. I'm not a big fan of, various different trimmings and everything. So for that reason, if I was going to say a home kit, I would probably say the Strongbow all white kit from around sort of 2000, 2001. That sort of holds the most memories for me, really. As for away kits, I would say 98, 99 or 97, 98 when we had the half and half blue and yellow away kit. That one always sticks with me because it was quite a striking one as well, but I remember loving it so much, and it's a shirt I never owned, unfortunately, but it's one that I really wish I would have done. And I always remember us winning 5-0 away at Derby in that very kit, so that holds quite a few memories. And also, again, going back to the Strongbow kit, the yellow one, again from sort of the Champions League days. There was just the kind of plainish yellow one, which I always really loved. And then a few years later, I think around 2003, we had the one that was also yellow, but it had kind of little mini stripes and lines going down the middle of it. That's one that I did have. In fact, I think I've still got that one with Lucas Radamir's name on the back. So those are kind of the kits that stand out at me, really. Kind of a lot of the modern ones, sort of from 2004 onwards, never really kind of struck anything with me. Sort of White and Mackay onwards, they weren't really that brilliant, really. So yeah, those are sort of my favourite ever Leeds United kits. So thank you very much for your question there. Lee, or Future Law from the YouTubes, has asked me, you find a bomb in your room, you only have enough time to save one item, and this can't be your computer, what do you grab? There's so many items in this bedroom, it is very, very hard to say. I would say, when it comes to something like this, you want to really grab something that is sentimental, because anything of money value, originally I was thinking maybe my camera, because it's something I can capture a lot of memories on. But at the end of the day, I only have to pay for another one at some point. So that's something that I can always get back. So really, I would have to say, I know it says one item, but I would pick my 2 photos that I have up. My 3 photos that I have of my grandma, who's no longer with us, my granddad, who's no longer with us, and also my dog Coco. Basically because those are the only hard copies that I kind of have of those photos of them, and they are just kind of one-offs. So, if I was to lose them, then I wouldn't be getting them back. So those are the things that I would grab, really, because like I say, I could quite easily say one of my games consoles or something like that, but you get your money back at some point, so you can just buy other ones, really. A very boring answer, I know, but to be honest, that is what I will go for, something that is of more sentimental value and something that couldn't be replaced. Either that or my brand new David Tennant 10th Doctor pop vinyl. So, moving on, let's go back to James Mahoney, who says, hi Jonesy, if you didn't support Leeds United, who would you support? Difficult. Well, no, it's not a difficult one because the one answer always comes straight to my head with this one. Basically, down to the fact of my mother's half of my mother's side of the family, sorry, and basically down to my granddad, who I just mentioned there. They were from Bradford, and my granddad was one of the biggest Bradford City fans ever. And it's always been for that reason that I've never had any sort of bad feelings or animosity towards Bradford. I've always seen the rivalry that's there, but I've always taken it in a kind of friendly manner. I know a lot of Bradford and Leeds fans don't, and it means a little bit more to them than that. But for me, I always really like to see Bradford City do well. I was over the moon when they've gone on, the FA Cup run and the Capital One Cup run they had the other year in the League Cup. I was delighted when they got promoted back up to League One. And one day I would like to see them, back up possibly in the Championship. When we've played Bradford in the past, it's brought back to me what is a proper, real Yorkshire derby. There's that proper atmosphere between, the two sets of fans and everything. I much prefer that to, the Sheffields, the Hulls, the Rotherham kind of thing. They never feel like real proper Yorkshire derbies to me. So for that reason, James, I would have to say it would probably be Bradford. If I never supported Leeds in the first place, it would probably definitely be Bradford, because apart from that, there's no other real teams that I ever have soft spots for, because I'm not one of those football fans that can kind of support two teams. I know a lot of Leeds fans. I know a lot of football fans in general that will have an English team that they support, say Leeds United, Liverpool, something like that, and then they will also say on the Twitter bio, they'll say Leeds United fan and Real Madrid fan. I never really can get my head around that. I can understand admiring another team, but to truly support two sets of clubs, I just cannot really get my head around it at all, and it's something I always struggle to understand, really. And I always say, if those two teams were to ever meet in Europe, in the European competition, what would you do? It's just weird, really. I support Leeds United first and foremost, always have, always will. I will always have a soft spot for Bradford City. I will always, for some reason, have a soft spot for Rangers. But apart from that, there is no allegiances to any other possible club. And that's just the way it's always going to be, and how it should be, really, in football. I never like the whole 2-team, 3-team, even 4-team system sometimes that some fans have. But there we go, some people are different like that. So thank you very much for your question there, James. Sam Judd asked me, would you ever open a fortune cookie to tell you the future of your life at the cost of it saying when you will die? To be honest, even if it wasn't at the cost of saying I would die, I still don't think I would open it, because if you knew what was going to happen, I don't think you'd get any real enjoyment out of it, or whatever. I mean, it might not be enjoyment, it might be despair, it might be awful, but, and especially at the cost of, let's take the question as it is, at the cost of saying when you were going to die. Say if it told you your future and you were going to end up being a billionaire, but it told you were going to die at, say, 50 years old, you'd just be waiting for the day that you die, and I don't think I could properly ever enjoy myself or live my life properly. The thing about life is you never know what's around the corner, and for that reason you do spend days where you try and get as much done as you can, and you want to see as many things and do as many things, and things get in the way, like mental health issues or issues in your personal life, or other health issues, and it means you can't do things. But ultimately, if we all knew how we were gonna end and everything, I think everyone would live a very, very boring, straightforward life, and nothing would really get done, to be honest. So yeah, that's my answer there, Sam. Thank you. That's a really good question yet again from yourself. You always keep coming up trumps with those questions. A question here from Danny Way, who did actually ask me what my thoughts on Chris Wood were. Now, I did actually kind of touch on this in the last question time episode very quickly, and I did talk about it in my diary. I'm very happy with the acquisition of Chris Wood, and after seeing him against Harrogate, although it was not the best game to see him in action in, he did do some really nice stuff that fills me with a bit of confidence with him. But like I say, I did already really talk about that. But then he did go on to ask, when will I be doing more Leeds United related videos? And I just thought I'd talk about this really. Obviously, since when I started this channel, I do a lot less Leeds United football based stuff right now, and it's been well publicised on here. I've talked about it so many times of the reasons why I've done it. You know, I really wanted to branch out this channel. I didn't want to be stuck as this person that it just does this one thing on YouTube. You know, I've always really wanted to be into the gaming side of things, and kind of focus on that primarily. But I never ever want to get rid of or stop doing the Leeds United videos, which is why really now the only time I talk about them is in my diary videos. You know, the Jonesy's vlog, I suppose, really has disappeared now. It's only very rare that I will do a Jonesy's vlog. If there's just one particular subject I want to talk about, I would probably release it as a Jonesy's vlog video, but that would be across the board. It wouldn't be stuck to just Leeds United or football or sports. It would be any general you know, topic really. I mean, I've got one in my head that I'm thinking of doing soon. But yeah, most of the Leeds United stuff that I do now just comes in the diary when I talk about it on a daily basis when things have happened. I do want to say that this season, obviously, I'm going to be trying to get to as many away games as possible. I don't have a season ticket anymore this season, for money reasons mainly. So it's going to be a bit more difficult getting to as many as I did last season. But I am hoping to get to MK Dons for the first kind of league away day for my season anyway. There is an away day video going up for the Harrogate game. There will be one going up for York. So basically any away day that I have this season, there will be an away day video. As for other separate videos, there's not really going to be any. Like I said, the Jonesy's vlog thing is kind of gone out the window now. I'm not really going to be doing any reaction videos because I don't get to as many games as what I used to, down to work commitments and again, like I say, money. So I can't always do the reaction videos, so there's no point me doing it just for the sake of it. And like I say, I will continue talking about them in the diaries, so you know, usually if it's a Leeds United related one, I will mention something in the title of that diary, but just always check them out for if you're wanting to hear any Leeds United related stuff. And really, kind of one of the other reasons that I'm not doing as much Leeds United stuff as I used to is not that it doesn't mean as much to me anymore. You know, I'll always be a massive Leeds United fan. I mean, I'm getting the Leeds United tattoo done next month, at the end of next month. But with the way football is in general at the moment, and this isn't just Leeds United, I've been slightly disillusioned by it all, and I'm not really enjoying this period of football. I don't like the way that some fans kind of react and communicate with each other, and that includes the way some talk, you know, in the past on my videos. Not saying about all of you, of course, it's usually just a minority. But to be quite honest, it's just something that I can really do without. And I don't want people to listen to this and think, oh, he's just never going to do Leeds United stuff again. That isn't true. Like I said, you know, there are going to be away day videos. Every now and again, if I can, I will film at home games as well. There just won't be the reaction videos that I used to do, and it won't be the Jonesy's vlog. I'll just be talking about it in the diary. Because I want to do content that I enjoy making, and I was getting to the point that I just wasn't really enjoying making the Leeds United vlogs and the reaction videos. It just wasn't doing anything for me. I know that you guys out there obviously enjoy it, and you know that's great, and I really do appreciate the support that you give me for those videos, but I don't want to be stuck on a channel doing content I don't enjoy. So if any people were wondering, you know, where all the Leeds United content is, obviously, I mean, it's been the off season, so there's been nothing to talk about anyway, so that's why there's been a lot less recently anyway. But yeah, that's my answer to that anyway, guys. So thank you very much for getting in touch with me, Danny. I do appreciate it. Moving on to, where should we go now? Tom Roach asks, do you think rugby league has a potential to be a more popular sport like football? To be honest, Tom, I really don't. For me, rugby league, I think, is a very underappreciated sport in England. I think the Aussies have a bigger passion for it, really, to be perfectly honest. And it's a shame because it is such an entertaining game, and in some aspects it can be a lot more entertaining than football. you're always guaranteed tries, you're always guaranteed, action with it. There's a lot of things that I don't like about it. I don't really like the way they try and change the systems all the time. They're always trying to change the rules, and it can get very confusing sometimes. And to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of the coverage. Sky Sports puts a lot on, and you can't fault the amount of rugby league that they put on, but the actual coverage, I'm not a big fan of the presenters or the analysts that they do, with the exception of Barry McDermott, who I absolutely love. Big Barry, you can't not love Big Barry. And yeah, there are certain things that they could do to improve the. Well, to be honest, even not the advertisement of it. They do try the best with kind of getting rugby league out there. But to be honest, I can't see what else they can do to really boost the popularity of it. And you look at the biggest crowds each week, you're looking tops of around maybe 16,000, 17,000 at, your likes of maybe Wigan, Leeds, Hull in some cases. But then you can have as little as 3,000-4,000, and I mean, when London Broncos were up, they were getting maybe 1,500 each week, and that's in the Super League. Then you go down to just the league underneath, and you're averaging maybe around 900 fans each match. And for that reason, like I say, I think probably Super League, Rugby League at the moment is probably as high and as popular as it's ever going to get, really. Football has the money, Rugby League doesn't, I'm afraid, and money speaks a lot in modern sport, and for that reason I can't really see Rugby League ever getting kind of as popular, any more popular than what it is now, really. But thank you, Tom, a very good question there, I do appreciate it. And finally, let's finish on Charlie, my good friend Charlie. He has asked me, what is the average price for a 12-pack of eggs, and can you predict the price that they will be in 1,783 years? Now, I'm not a big egg eater, really. I'm not a big fan of eggs, but I did do a little bit of research into this, and I found that the average price, I'm basing it on Tesco here, is the Tesco Mini Savoury Eggs, which can get 12 for £1, and they are seasoned pork sausage meat filled with egg mayonnaise coated in breadcrumbs, and that sounds absolutely disgusting, doesn't it? So that's the average price of eggs, Charlie, and what price will they be in 1,783 years? To be honest, it's quite an obsolete question because, as you should know, Charlie, by that time we will be ruled by the turtle overlords, and they'll be forcing us to eat each other, so there will be no call for eggs, so there'll be no price for them. So that's a good way to finish, I think. That's a perfect way to finish Jonesy's question time this week. And looking at the time, I've nearly done 20 minutes, which I've said I clearly wouldn't do. So there we go. You've got a normal length Jonesy's question time there. So thank you once again, everyone, for sending your questions in. Once again, I'm fresh out. I've got rid of all the questions in one go there. This does seem to have been a problem. Some people have said, did you get my question? So when I've been looking on Twitter, I haven't been able to see some of them. So I think the best way of going about it is, if you're going to leave it on my Twitter, always put hashtag Jones's question. And always keep it as that hashtag, so I can always keep up with all the questions that are sent in on Twitter. It's very easy for me to keep up to date with the ones that are sent in the comment section on YouTube, on all of the question time videos. Again, if you can keep it to just the question time videos and not any of the other ones, then it just helps me keep track of them. But yeah, on Twitter, just so I don't lose track of any of them, because I kind of go through a lot of tweets a day, if you can always put hashtag Jones's questions at the end, then it'll make me a lot easier to find. It'll make me a lot easier to find them. Yes, that makes sense somewhere, Chris. So yeah, I'm fresh out of questions, so send them all in again, guys. That was a really good varied one. I enjoyed that one, so thank you very much for everyone who contributed. If this is your first time here, then please do leave a like and subscribe. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you for putting up with my obvious cold and sniffling and spluttering. I'm sure it hasn't been nice on your ears, but it's certainly not very nice on my face at the moment. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.